Welcome to the Treasure Coast Professional Spotlight Interview Series, where we shine a light on the visionary leaders, innovative entrepreneurs, and dedicated professionals shaping the future of Florida's Treasure Coast. Presented by Showcast Studios and hosted by renowned educator, speaker, and community leader, Dr. Jack Mitchell. This program brings you inspiring conversations with the people behind the businesses, organizations, and initiatives making a lasting impact in our communities. Each episode offers an inside look at the journeys, challenges, successes, and insights of today's most influential professionals, sharing valuable lessons and stories designed to inform, inspire, and connect. Now please join your host, Dr. Jack Mitchell, as we spotlight excellence, leadership, and achievement on the Treasure Coast. This is the Treasure Coast Professional Spotlight Interview Series.
Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Jack Mitchell, and welcome to another one of our Spotlight interviews here in beautiful Port St. Lucie. We try to bring you the very best of business builders, men and women that are making a difference in our community, people that have helped Port St. Lucie, in my opinion, just be an amazingly wonderful place to live. Today, we have a very special guest. I'm very, very happy and proud to present to you one of the gentlemen, I think, in the community who has added so much blessing, so many wonderful things. He's a businessman, but he's more than a businessman. He's a gentleman. Matter of fact, one of the ladies in my church asked me if I could recommend someone honest as a roofing professional. There was no question in my mind who I would recommend, and I did. And I would venture to say almost every other week, this lady comes to me in church and says, Dr. Jack, thank you so much. I can't tell you how much Tony and his team meant to me. She says, I love it when it rains. I can hear and I think of you and I think of Tony. So today we have Tony Myers. Tony is the founder and CEO of About It All Roofing Company. Tony, welcome to our Spotlight interview.
Thank you for having me, Dr. Jack.
That's wonderful. This lady, you know her name, Catherine, and she just sings your praises. And I take all the credit for it. I said, Tony's not that good. I'm just that good at referring him. But she really loved what you did, how you treated her with respect. You gave her a very fair price. Apparently you did a terrific job. And again, she waves at me at church all the time, and anytime she comes, she always mentions your name and praises you. So that's pretty wonderful. Mm-hmm. So I'm just thrilled with, I remember, Tony, when I first met you a number of years ago, you were in the process of working for someone else and getting your license. But before we get into your actual work, let's get a little bit of background so people get to know you as a person. Tell me a little about where you're from, where you grew up, your brothers and sisters, that kind of thing, some of the kind of homey things that people don't know about you yet.
Sure. I feel blessed to be here.
Thank you.
Thank you very, very much. I'm very grateful that you would even think of me to talk to in this spotlight. So I'm grateful. So thank you.
You're most welcome, Tony.
And, I wouldn't know where to start, Dr. Jack, but I am the youngest of three.
Of three, okay.
And I didn't have the best way coming up. I was cast out as a teenager. I was a troublesome child. My father was sentenced to life in prison.
Your dad was?
Yes, in 1978. I was 8 years old.
Wow.
He was framed for murder. And there was more to that. Yeah. You know, he was living a life of adultery, and there was reasoning after a long time wondering how it could happen. You know, if you're not living right with God, he has a way of correcting you.
Yeah.
And it was very severe.
Wow.
But I rebelled against the world, against every which way I could. And found myself finding love in the bottle of alcoholism. And I lived that life for many years.
Wow.
And they took me to places that I never would want anybody to go.
Yeah.
And for some reason on June 12th, 2009.
Okay.
I heard the Lord speaking to me, and I listened, and I went into a 28-day detox. I volunteered for that. It wasn't court ordered or anything, but that to this day is my sobriety date, June 12th, 2009. And I was born again and a new creature from that day. But it's been a work in progress, you know. And
Help me with that, Tony. First of all, your brothers, you had two siblings.
yes,
Did either of them have challenges or troubles growing up as kids? You know, given your
they got
family?
taken. My sister went her way, and my brother stayed with my mom, and I reminded my mom too much of my dad.
Got it.
So I couldn't be around.
Got it.
And so I was raised by a neighbor. A neighbor saw that and took me in. And it was an African American family. And I'm so grateful to this day. Those are my brothers and sisters.
Sure.
And so now I have two sets of families.
Uh-huh.
And both are back in my life.
Really?
Yes. And because when I got sober, my mom, that I haven't talked to in 25 years, saw on Facebook that my son Jeremiah was born when I was celebrating 2 years of sobriety. And she sent me a message after I had not heard anything from her and said, sounds like you need a little help there. You got a back injury. You got a child in the NICU born at 3 pounds. And would you be okay with a visit? And so I welcomed that visit. And I got to spend 2 years with her before the Lord called her home. Wow. And we were able to make amends. And
what a blessing. My
yes.
So, wow. But tell me now, on June 11th, where were you June 11th? Because something...
On my adopted brother's couch. Everything had gone. I was doing labor work for $40 a day. And that was enough to get my beer and my weed and, and get through my day. And that's all that mattered. But my adopted brother, Russell, he woke me up at 6 o'clock that morning and said, hey, my kids look at you as like a second father. And I told you I'd help you if you wanted to help yourself. And for some reason, I heard him. He woke me up before I started drinking that day at 4:30 in the morning. And the Lord was speaking through him, and I heard it. And I went into a detox the next day and never looked back.
Now, was Russell a very devout religious man in the Lord?
No.
But the Lord chose him as a vessel to communicate.
That message said, like, hey, if you're on your last leg here. And I had been in homeless shelters in Washington, D.C. I had been all over the place and couch surfing, as they call, staying not God knows where on the streets, anywhere I could. And, he had opened up his doors for me to give me a chance. He gave me, and I heard him that morning.
You really heard him.
I really heard him.
You really did.
I went in the next day.
And there's a thing called metanoia, which is a total change of your mindset, your life, and your spirit.
And I vowed I would not drink anymore. And I got introduced to the Alcoholics Anonymous program. And that's where I really got introduced to a higher power in the Lord Jesus Christ. And it really just came into play. And here we are. I just celebrated 17 years. And
I'm so proud of you.
Life got better.
Yeah. One of my degrees is in psychology, and my specialty was alcoholism. So I've worked with a lot of alcoholics, and and I'm not a drinker, but I've been to more AA meetings. And I'm just so proud when I see someone like yourself, Tony, that through the Lord working in you, working through other people.
I want to show you something.
Okay.
If you would.
Surely.
And it'll kind of let you know how serious I take this.
Oh, those are your...
This is my 17-year.
Can you see this, folks? This is a 17-year chip.
The 17 years of sobriety, and that's a reminder. That's a reminder that, one day at a time, it can be accomplished.
And it is one day at a time.
One day at a time.
Because you're always an alcoholic.
That's right.
Always an alcoholic, but one day at a time. The Lord can work miracles, and you are a miracle in the hands of the Lord.
God is so great.
God is great. So don't get me going on that whole.
Yes, sir.
Because I love the Lord like yourself.
And this is a reminder. It's in my pocket all day long. Yeah. And if challenges come or anything, I say a prayer, and this is just a reminder of how far the Lord has brought me.
Yeah.
Not how far I have come, but how far the Lord has brought me. And one day at a time, and we're coming up on 7,000 days pretty soon. So that's pretty neat.
What a wonderful story. I mean, I look at that. My baby sister has one for 18 years.
Oh, wow.
So I'm familiar with that. And I'm just so proud of people like yourself, because it's a struggle. It's a struggle. But God bless you. I think that's...
Thank you.
Tony, I'm so happy for you. And I'm happy for us that we have you, a man filled with the Lord, and filled with his blessings, and giving back to the community. One of the things that has always impressed me in your business, and we'll get into your business in a sec, is you always say, what can I do for you? How can I bless you?
Yes.
And Tony is known, friends, because I've seen him in networking groups and so forth, to approach people, say, how can I bless you? What an amazing man we have here. So he's not only a friend, he's really a terrific inspiration for us.
Well, Tony, it's all the Lord's work, and it really is. And it is an honest question, because I learned first off in sobriety, and when you're living in an alcoholic world, you're taking, you're grabbing as much as you can. It's me, right? And then once the Lord frees you from that, it becomes a redemption tour, and you're just on this world tour of redemption, and you want to bless people as much as you possibly can. So what better way to meet somebody and say, how can I be a blessing in your life?
Yeah. We're on a pilgrimage, and we need people to bless us along the way.
That's right. That's right.
Well, but anyways, I don't want to get too heavy into religion and spirituality, but I really respect. I'm
sorry.
That in you.
That just makes me who I am.
So. Me too. So we are who we are. So I'm never going to refuse to have a conversation about the Lord and how meaningful He is in our life, and how we're His instruments to do the best we can in this world. Tell me, how the heck did you get into roofing and start your own company and have a successful company? So there's three things. Tony, share with the audience, how the heck did you ever get into roofing, and why roofing? What have you done to make this thing so successful? So give us a little history, if you would, of your business life and your career.
Sure. Okay. Well, back in the 90s when I came down here, 1996.
96, okay.
I was working, I was looking for work, anything, day labor, anything, because I didn't have a trade. I didn't have anything.
No, you were married.
Living in the world.
You were married and had a baby at that time.
No. My two children were up north in Maryland.
Okay, so you have kids up
I was running from myself.
Okay.
And a mover from Florida came up there to Washington, D.C.
Mm-hmm.
They needed help moving furniture in this job. They got sent, didn't have a truck, didn't have packing boxes or anything.
Okay.
I orchestrated it and made it happen. Well, the guy said, will you come down here and run my moving company?
Oh, really? Okay.
And promised me the world.
Uh-huh.
I got down here to Hope Sound, and he had a little small warehouse and a truck, and he lived over in Point Gorda or somewhere, and the dream was not there as he presented it. And
oh wow, what a surprise!
Right. And so I was like, well, okay, we'll just make it a party. I'm in Florida, so might as well. And I bounced around just looking for work. I wound up on.
This was in 1996. Okay,
30 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And so I wound up working for a guy who had a crew working for Stewart Roofing down in Florida.
Okay.
And I was on his tear-off crew. And nobody wants to do roofing work.
Yeah.
But,
it's a tough job.
Yes, it is. And, at that point, I had hurt my back moving. So for some crazy reason, I thought roofing was going to be okay.
Okay.
So again, the alcoholic mind,
maybe
right?
you're not the brightest bulb on the
That's
tree.
right.
Yes.
I was
Okay.
not at the time. And that being said, I got into working with him, and it was more for the party after work than it was for the job itself.
Mhm.
I can make a few bucks.
Yep.
I can make a
It
living,
was a job.
and I could get through
It
life.
was a job.
And
Yeah.
so I did that for years. And then for some reason, I got pulled into the streets doing stuff I wasn't supposed to do with drugs. And I went and paid my debt to society for that. And when I came home from that, I said, "Well, okay, I'll drink and just stay out of trouble." I still wasn't ready to give my life to the Lord.
Yeah.
And I wanted to go near where my kids were. So I left the state of Florida. I went back up to Maryland.
Okay.
And that's how I got on Russell's couch.
Okay.
Okay. Lived that life for about 6 months. And that's when I got sober. And then we'll fast forward through that. After I got sober, I started a business. I named it About It All. And it was a printing and graphics business because I was working for a company that worked with autistic adults.
Okay.
All right. And when I quit drinking, the Lord opened up my heart to start living for others instead of just me.
Go from that taker to a giver mindset.
And so it's part of the redemption tour. What can I do? What can I do in the communities? What can I do to help? What can I do to make the world a better place? So me and my wife, I got married I got married in 3 weeks. That's another story. So,
okay. So that sounds, we'll have to have you back.
Two years into sobriety, I met my wife in Ocean City, Maryland, and she was on the beach with a Bible. Her name is Alpha.
Yep. I know
she was on the beach with a Bible.
Yep.
And she was playing the damsel in distress. She couldn't get her umbrella to stick into the sand.
Yeah.
And I could tell what was going on. So I went and fixed her umbrella for her.
The fact is, she happens to be a pretty good looking woman.
Yes.
So you're a rascal. Yeah.
Right.
Don't give me all this. No,
and we joke about it now. I was thinking about how I could get her back to the hotel. And she told me straight up, I'm sold out to Jesus. And
wow. That put you in your place.
That's right. So she wound up. I thought that was it. I thought I'd never see her again. I gave her my phone number and I thought that was it. Well, she called me about 3 hours later and said, how old were you? How old did you say you were again? And I had just turned 40. Yeah. And I wanted to say 39 so bad. But remember, God was working in me already. So I had to tell the truth. I said, I just turned 40 in November. And it was May. Yeah. And I was like, I just turned 40.
Yeah. 6 months later.
Like, oh. And she sounded really, really down. And I was like, what? That's not old. She's like, yes, it is.
How old?
She had just turned 30 in April.
Oh, okay.
So 10 years younger.
Difference. Okay. So
so I thought that was really the nail in the coffin that I'd never hear from her again.
You're an old man to
this was Memorial Day weekend. Yeah. Well, that Monday was Memorial Day.
Okay.
I lived in 4801 Connecticut Avenue, Northwest Washington, D.C. in Rock Creek Park. Okay. I was a building engineer for the building building. That's a glorified word for maintenance man. Yeah. All right. And but building engineer sounds great.
It sounds wonderful. I was impressed. I was impressed.
So long story short, we found out that she lived in Mount Rainier, Maryland, which is 2.1 miles away from Northwest DC.
Wow.
And we met 4 hours away in Ocean City, Maryland. And so started seeing, she was like, were you still going to make me that steak dinner you talked about? And I was on my way to Russell's house at that point for the holiday. And I called and I was like, cancel plans. Remember the girl I told you I met down in Ocean City? She's coming over. Well, I made her steak dinner for Memorial Day and she never left.
That must have been one heck of a steak.
Right. And
you got to give me your recipe. No, I'm already happily married. No, I don't want the recipe.
And then but remember, she sold out to Jesus. Yeah. I'm still half world, half living for the Lord, and
you had a foot in each world.
Yes. And so I had other things in mind. She's like, not unless we're married. Wow. Well, this was the end of May.
Yep.
Well, we got married June 18th. June 18th
Of the same year?
of the same year, 3 weeks later.
Wow,
And that
has
was
to be a record.
15 years ago.
That has to be a
And
wow.
so we, I knew she was in love with the Lord. I knew that she was the one. She was the one. And I saw the sobriety. I saw living for the Lord. I saw, okay, God, is this what I'm supposed to do? And we got married June 18th and found out she was pregnant July 11th.
Man, you don't do anything slowly.
And,
yes.
And so we found, and then it became the worst year of both of our lives, even after me being in prison, me being in everything that I had went through, because she had fibroids on her uterus. And as her uterus expanded, it ripped those fibroids, and she was just in excruciating, agonizing pain. I'm sorry for missing the word, but I became her caretaker. And I became her caretaker, getting her through that pregnancy. She wanted to abort. And she's 100% sold out to Jesus against abortion, but she felt like she was dying. Well, she became addicted to Dilaudidins, addicted to pills. And I'm in sobriety and I'm watching this go down, but I don't want her to suffer. And it was just a year of, hey, if I stay sober through this, nothing can faze me, and it was a very, very trying time that we look back at now. And we look at the
you love
foundation.
This woman and you see her addicted to this.
Yes. And now she's addicted to the pills. He's born at 27 weeks, 3 pounds, 3 ounces. He fits in the palm of my hand, literally. And I'm his caretaker because I'm still going through that. I had admitted her, put her in detoxes, did everything I could. And it wasn't until after the baby was delivered, it took about some months to get it back right. But the Lord worked in her and got her off of those.
And you have a beautiful baby. I mean, who's
Jeremiah has grown up in such a wonderful, wonderful young man.
He's an exceptional young guy.
And we have worked hard for that. And so back to the how it became the roofing. Giving back to
we
the
go
world.
off on all sorts of tangents.
Oh, we do.
We
do. There's I could write a book.
Yeah, me too.
So
I'm happy to listen.
We were working for Focus Behavioral Health. We moved to Hanover, Pennsylvania when my mom came back in my life because she was in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. So we got to Hanover, Pennsylvania, and it's a little small town. It's always gloomy. It's always gray. There's never sun. But we're working for Focus Behavioral Health, and I was like, this isn't fair. These kids turn 18, and the government completely cuts them off. There's nothing for them. And they don't have the job skills to go out here and take care of themselves. So it's pretty much give them an $870 a month check and call it a day is the way I was seeing things happen. And I was like, something's got to change. And so I had saved up a couple dollars and I opened up a t-shirt shop. I was like,
this is the printing.
Yes,
t-shirt.
We can. And me and my wife were riding in the truck one day and we were like, what should we name it? And back then, this was 2014-ish. It still mattered whether your business started with an A, right? So we're riding around thinking, what could start with an A?
That was important.
And what's after the A is just as important as what starts with the A. And so we're thinking, I was like, about. And we're sitting there, we're thinking, we're bouncing things off. And I said, you know what? These guys and gals that we service are about it all. And she was like, that's it. And About It All was born. And so we had a t-shirt shop that I would train these individuals how to make t-shirts. But the problem was, in a business model, it would take 2 hours for them to make a $15 t-shirt. And I was paying them $10 an hour. So something wasn't right.
Just not a good business model.
It wasn't adding up.
Tony, that's just not, even I know that's not a good business model.
Right. And so what was happening then was vape shops were popping up everywhere. And it was viewed as a good thing because it was getting people off conventional cigarettes and it was prolonging lives. So I was like, well, okay. I opened up a vape shop next door And all the funding from that kept this program going. And we were getting these individuals off Social Security into their own apartments. It was really making an impact and a difference. Well, Governor Wolf from the state of Pennsylvania at the time decided it would be a good idea to hit all the vape stores and call them tobacco products and hit us with a 40% floor tax. Well, I had $100,000 worth of inventory in the vape shop. So they came and took $40,000 from me.
Wow.
Because they came and did audits to them.
Sure.
And paid them their $40,000. And I told my wife, hey, I don't want to make this state another dollar. I'm really have a sore taste in my mouth.
Yeah, understandable.
Let's take it about it all down to Florida, where I used to live, and I think it'll do well. And so we did. Well, she told me she wanted palm trees, and I said, I know the exact spot. And I used to live down in Stewart, Golden Gate area when Francis and Jean and all that came through back in the day. And I was very familiar with that spot, but I knew it was expensive to live in Martin County. So I was like, but we can go to Port St. Lucie because it used to be very inexpensive.
At one time,
to live in.
At one time.
Even back in 2017, it was livable. It was doable and it made sense per se. Right. And so we said, okay, we'll rent for 2 years and then we'll buy our first home. That was the plan. We came down here with $20,000. That's all we had. $20,000 and 2 moving trucks full of stuff. And it's all was stuff. A lot of it was still vape supplies and T-shirt supplies. And so that was our idea. We'd come down here and start that. Well, once I got down here and tried to get that going, I got a call from a friend of mine that was working at another roofing company in Jensen Beach.
Okay.
He was like, hey, can you come put decals on the window? I came to put decals on their window down across from the bowling alley in Jensen Beach. And while I'm there, the truck comes back and both of the tires are pointing out. And the roofing company that I was working for, the guy sitting outside that owns it, he's one of my best friends now, if not my best friend. He says, man, these kids, they just keep tearing up all my stuff. I need somebody that can drive a trailer with some weight in. I said, I can do that. And he's like, you already got a job. I was like, I don't turn away money. So I got there and I was like, you know what? All right. So I started pulling trailers and running supplies, and that's all I was doing. And then I saw the lack of customer service. I saw things that needed done. And so I took the bull by the horns and I just started learning everything. The permitting, the NOCs, the customer service. Then I sold my first roof and I was like, okay, all right, I'm learning this. And I pretty much had it to where I worked there from 2017 to 2022 for 5 solid years. And it was to the point to where I was just handing him the checks. Built that company from nothing to the last year, $4 or $5 million. And it was every time the phone rang to his phone, he just sent me a text message with the phone number. That was it. And I took it from there.
You may consider him your best friend, but I bet he considers you his best friend.
Yes, we're very tight now, and we talk a couple times a week, and we bounce things off of each other, and I still help him with anything else, and vice versa.
So, when I met you, you were I believe you were just starting to get your license.
Yes, I was just about there. So 2022. There was a conflict of interest at that company.
Okay.
I was losing the battle with, certain employees acting a certain way on a job and me being the face of the company, and it's my integrity, my face being this is what everybody sees and know. So I have to protect that. And, me and the owner had a difference of whether, certain people were working or not. And I gave it as much time as I could, but I was losing my peace at night. I go doing everything good in the day and I just feel horrible at night. Hearing about one of the guys urinating on the side of the house or something, I'd get a phone call, just things that go on out in the roofing world that, that people don't hear about all the time. And so that December, I said, you know what, January 1, I'm going to go somewhere else. There was another guy that owned a roofing company in the area. He had seen me up at the supply house. And, hey, I see what you're doing over there at Shoreline. Would you come over here? You know, why don't you come over here and make some real money, you know, and saying those kind of things. So I gave him a shot, January 1st, 2023.
Okay.
Pretty much did the same thing. I had my own clients. I had my own crews that followed me from the other company that really loved the way I treated them, because I'm the guy that's going to show up with lunch. I'm going to make sure you're hydrated. I'm going to let you know that I'm in the level playing field with you. There's none of this and this here. Everybody is here. We're all a team, and they appreciate, they appreciate that. And that worked wonders for me, because then not only did they come there while I was selling for that company, but when I got out on my own, and we're like, we don't want to work for anybody else. We're coming with you. Wow. So I already had crews. Now it's been 10 years since they've been under my care one way or another.
When did you start about it all roofing?
It was in 2023. I was promised a certain amount of money for doing this. Run my company for me, and I'll give you this. Well, when it got to the end of the year, nothing came at all. Not even one nickel. Not even a Christmas bonus. And so I got the message, and I let it ride. I was like, maybe they'll wait until after January, So I let it ride until after January, and I had a talk with the owner. I was like, hey, what's up with the money, hey, where are we at? Yeah. And he threw a temper tantrum. He was like, you made more money than anybody in the company. I said, no, I earned more. Yeah. Right. And so that spoke volumes to me that I wasn't in the right place. Well, it just so happened that I went to an elderly woman's house down in Stewart Yacht and Country Club that same day.
Yep, I know.
And she put a hand on my hand. She said, baby, do you own this company? I said, no, ma'am. She said, you need to. I said, ma'am? She said, yes. The way you came in here and presented everything, and you cared about this job from start to finish. You showed up with the workers. You made sure the material, you babysat my job like you own this company. Let me tell you something. My husband went to his grave making money for the other man. And I don't want you to make that same mistake. You need to be the owner. And my wife had been telling me that for years. I've been told that many times over, but for some reason, just like my brother speaking to me about quitting drinking,
Russell.
I heard the Lord speaking to me through her, and I'm best friends with her family now and everything. And she's gone to be with the Lord. But I've built relationships. And that's the biggest key to my business and I'll get into that in a second. But I heard her that day. I went home. I signed up for one exam prep contractor school, and I sat in my living room for 10 months. When I wasn't at work, I was in the books, and I never gave myself enough credit. I was like, there's no way they'll give me a license with my past, but it was never theft. It was never violence. It was alcohol and drugs. Yeah. So they saw the change of life in me. I wrote a letter to the contracting board, and they got letters because I do prison ministry, and now I go into the prisons voluntarily, and I leave voluntarily, and all those things and they saw that, and there was not even a second thought whether they'd give me a license or not. They said just pass the test, and so I scheduled my first test for September. And then passed my last one in October, and got licensed November 5th. And by then I had already been building those relationships for all those years. And so when I opened the floodgates up at January 1, it was like I never missed a beat, that my clientele was already there. And I asked the Lord, I said, God, I don't want to be the biggest roofer in town. I want to treat people's home like it's my mother's. I want to train my guys to do the same. And 3 roofs a week would feed all my family and everybody in the circle. And most importantly, it will let my guys go home and be with their families on the weekend. It's a good pace. 3 roofs a week. It's not being greedy,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not biting off more than you can chew. Because when I was with these other companies, it was sell, 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 sell,
Yeah.
more, 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 more. The only thing that mattered was the dollar.
Yeah.
But when you make the only thing matter is the customer satisfaction and the quality of the job that you're doing, the reward pays out tenfold.
Yeah.
I have not went without 3 roofs a week since the first day I opened.
Yeah. Praise the
And
Lord.
I am grateful for
Yeah.
that. And God gives me he answers my prayers because, I'm faithful.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful.
Ladies and gentlemen, I told you I had a very special friend and guest today, and he really, truly is. You can see why I hold Tony in such high esteem. Tony, please tell the people slowly how they can get in touch with you. If they have a roofing need or a roofing concern, Tony's the guy to call. How can they get in touch with you? So just speak into that camera there, Tony. Don't look at me. Tell the folks.
All right.
And do it slowly so they can take down get a pen and pencil and a piece of paper out, folks, to take this information down. And you'll see it actually, ladies and gentlemen, you can go to Treasure Coast Professionals very shortly, and you'll see a copy of this interview with Tony, and the information will be there. So if you don't get the information now, just go to treasurecoastprofessionals.com and look for this good-looking guy, Tony Myers. There's an S after that name because his family was wealthy. They could afford that S. So it's Tony Myers, and he's all about it.
About it all roofing and construction. And my phone number is 772-292-9595. That's my cell phone number. And I am the point of contact from start to finish on every job. My website is aboutitallroofing.com. And I am on Facebook as Tony Myers Roofing. And please don't hesitate to reach out. If you or anybody you know would like to add value to their home or is being bullied by their insurance company, allow me and my team the opportunity to raise the roof on quality and customer service. Thank you.
Raise the roof on quality customer service.
Yes, sir.
Tony, just all I can say is thank you. Thank you for sharing yourself, your background, your love of the Lord, your love of the work, your love of your customers. So it's about love.
Yes, it is.
And God is love. And
Yes.
so he's with you, my friend. He's with us, and he's with this community. So I keep on encouraging you to be yourself, keep on loving people, love your customers, and give them the service that you know that they deserve. So, Tony, thank you for being with us.
Thank you. And if I could tell you one more thing, if everybody in this community would just wake up and have the thought go through their mind, how can I be a blessing to somebody other than myself today?
Yeah.
Imagine what a community we could build.
Yep. Thank you, Tony. And we're getting there.
Yes.
And we're getting there.
Yes.
Again, thank you, my friend.
Thank you.
And thank you, folks, for watching today. I'm sure that you've enjoyed listening to Tony and his journey. In Italian, we call it a passeggiata, his passage, his pilgrimage here on earth. And so we want to thank Tony, but thank you, folks, for watching and supporting us here on the Treasure Coast Professionals.com. We look forward to another session with you shortly, and we ask the Lord to bless you all. Thank you, folks. Have a great day.
Welcome to the Treasure Coast Professional Spotlight interview series, where we shine a light on the visionary leaders, innovative entrepreneurs, and dedicated professionals shaping the future of Florida's Treasure Coast. Presented by Showcast Studios and hosted by renowned educator, speaker, and community leader, Dr. Jack Mitchell. This program brings you inspiring conversations with the people behind the businesses, organizations, and initiatives making a lasting impact in our communities. Each episode offers an inside look at the journeys, challenges, successes, and insights of today's most influential professionals, sharing valuable lessons and stories designed to inform, inspire, and connect. Now please join your host, Dr. Jack Mitchell, as we spotlight excellence, leadership, and achievement on the Treasure Coast. This is the Treasure Coast Professional Spotlight Interview Series.